What's up, guys? JT here. So I think last week on the last vlog video, we said that if you guys had any questions, to go ahead and ask, and I'll be answering on the next vlog. So here I am answering those questions. So I'm gonna go through the questions first on Facebook. And Michael Santana asked me, where on the East Coast are you going to start the Altos Academy? Well, to be honest with you, I don't have a set location just yet. I'm in the process of talking with some real estate agents to locate a location, and but I will say that I'm very interested in opening in a couple different spots, either New York City, North Jersey, or really that's about it, to be honest with you. So it's really two locations, that I'm looking at, two areas I'm looking at. So just stay up to date, stay tuned in, and hopefully within the next week or two we'll have a spot picked out or an area closed in on. And once I get the ball rolling on that, all the updates will be on my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So just make sure you guys follow me there at Torres BJJ. Next question from my boy Marcus out in Sweden. Will you come visit and will you eat all the candy? Actually, I am coming to Sweden for 2 weeks in September. While things are getting worked on the academy, will be here. I have to keep working and stay on my grind and keep teaching while my academy gets open. So I will be in Sweden for 2 weeks teaching and training with you guys out there. So Marcus, I will come visit and I will eat all the candy, absolutely. And if you guys don't know, Sweden has the best candy in the world. My homie Jordan Burton out in Texas, same thing. Where will the school be? Same thing, guys. I'm looking to put inside New York City or in North Jersey, right outside New York City, on that side of the state. So stay up to date on that, guys. Coming soon. Let's see. Philip, what was your favorite belt level and why? I would probably say my favorite belt level was probably purple belt, only because that purple belt was when I really started making the transition of becoming a full, a well-rounded grappler. Where from white belt all the way up to the beginning of my purple belt, I only played closed guard. That's the only thing I felt comfortable with. And it wasn't until someone opened up my closed guard and started passing my guard, and I said, you know what, I got to figure something out for that. And I became more well-rounded. Then it forced me to become more well-rounded at that point in my career. So I really started working on, open guard. I started working on coming on top for sweeps and really learning how to pass the guard. So I would say purple belt was my favorite belt level, only because you're kind of halfway through the journey of getting to your black belt, and I feel that's where you really start locking down your game and really getting to know your own game. So let's see what else. Okay, now let's move on to Instagram. Let's see what kind of questions we got on Instagram here. Just give me a second here. All right. Okay, here we are. Let's see. All right, here we go. Okay, we got a lot more questions on Instagram, so let me read through them. Okay, Professor Galval, how is the trip? Well, the trip is a very long trip. It's a lot of fun. Very exhausting, but it's a lot of fun. It's truly an experience. Okay, my boy Bruno Machado gave me some an emoji with heart eyes. I love you too, man. Miss you too. My boy Apamato Jiu-Jitsu out there in San Diego. Good MMA fighter too, so be on the lookout for Bruno Machado. Waka Flocka Shane. We all know the new location is to be announced, but can you drop a hint? Once again, guys, the hint is NYC. We're right outside NYC on the New Jersey state line. So just be patient, guys. Be patient, because great things take time to build. And one thing about me is when it comes to me doing anything in life, I want to do it as well as I can, as close to perfect as I can. So the same thing's gonna go for my academy. I just don't want to pick any facility, any empty room, and just throw mats down on the floor. That's just not my style. I really want to build a world-class, beautiful facility and provide the best instruction, the best training in the world for my students and for anyone who wants to come and visit. So, when I get to the East Coast and I really find my spot, I'm really going to take my time on building something beautiful and amazing, something, like I said, that's world-class. And so it's all I ask you guys is to be patient, because great things take time to build. So like I said, I'm going to build something special for you guys to enjoy. So let's move on to the next question here. Let's see who we got. We got, okay, kind of the same questions about the gym. Okay, now we got Hello Japan 1. Best highlights too, one of the, you know, makes awesome highlights on YouTube, so check out Hello Japan 1. He's asking me here, what do you like more, being on the West Coast or the East Coast, and is there anything you like most of each? So, you know, the West Coast is beautiful ever since I was a kid, growing up in New York, and I was born and raised in New York, so I am an East Coaster at heart, and I've lived all my life on the East Coast until the last couple of years I spent them in San Diego. But you know, growing up as a kid, I always saw California in movies and TV shows, and I always wanted to go out there and experience it. I never thought I would live there, but you know, I got the opportunity to live out there and train with one of the best teams in the world. So while I was living out there, you know, I really enjoyed my time, but I did find myself missing the East Coast a lot. And you know, something that I like about the East Coast is that it's just a never-ending. It's just never-ending. You know, there's always something to do. There's always something happening. There's always something new to see. Where when I first moved out to the West Coast, I felt myself being bored at times, where I was like, well, you know, I don't really know what to do. And that's just because I didn't grow up there and I'm not used to those elements, you know, like surfing, going to the beach, and, you know, skateboarding, all that kind of stuff, which I think is awesome and cool. But you got to understand, me growing up as a East Coaster, I never did that. You know, I had to deal with snow, rain, all 4 seasons. So I grew up having different kind of fun. So if I was gonna say that something that I like the most about the East Coast is that there's always something happening, always something new to see, and something that I'm gonna say that I like the most about the West Coast is the weather. You know, you can always be outside all year round. Doesn't matter what day it is or what time of the year it is. You can be outside and enjoy the weather out there. So that's something I'm gonna miss about the West Coast, but I'm very excited to be heading back to the East. So let's see. Okay, Leg Drags on Instagram asked me, are you still going to be competing, or are you focusing on building your school? And if you do plan to compete, who will you train with? That's a very good question. So, you know, what I'm planning on right now is focusing on my academy. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, you know, there's always more to accomplish, but when I look back and I see everything I've accomplished, I've medaled at every major tournament there is at Black Belt. I've either won or been on top of the podium. So, like I said, there's still more for me to complete out there on the competition scene. But as of right now, my main focus is to get my academy open and build up my students and all that. I still do want to compete, and I will compete. I'm looking to start competing back again, like I said, shortly after the academy's up and running. And what I'm going to do is train with my students. I know to a lot of people that sounds crazy. You're just going to train with, you know, maybe white belts and blue belts at first. And my answer to that is yes. You know, one guy that I pulled a lot of inspiration from was Professor Andre Galvao. If you guys don't know this, when he first won ADCC in 2011, double gold, his weight class in the absolute, he was only training with his students, and he had just opened up his academy in San Diego, California. And at the time, he only had white belts and blue belts. But what he did was he went the extra mile. He reached out for a good training. He brought in, you know, he cross-trained. He brought in a lot of wrestlers to help him. He brought in strength conditioning coaches, nutritionists, you know, things like that that really help you, that can really help you make the difference. So I'm planning on doing the same thing until I'm able to build up some good training partners for myself. And, you know, hopefully some guys in the area, in the local area, will want to come by and train with me as well. And just, you know, just to have some good roles in and things like that. But, you know, I'm planning on still developing my wrestling. You know, a lot of people don't know, but I wrestled before I did jiu-jitsu. And, you know, wrestling was one of my first love. And I'm still going to continue working on my wrestling. One of my old wrestling coaches is here on the East Coast, Rusty Reed. So I'm going to be out there training with him once I get there, up to Jersey. And then judo, guys. I'm going to continue working on my judo for the last couple years. I've been working my judo with Sensei Farid Kader from France. And I mean, if you guys don't know who that is, Google that guy and you'll see who I'm talking about. Just, you know, amazing, world-class athlete. He was an Olympian for France, ranked #1. So the guy is amazing. So I've been working on my judo with him for the last couple years. So I mean, that's given me a whole nother arsenal in my game to use. So I'm gonna start looking for good judo clubs out on the East Coast. So if you guys know of any, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I'm gonna start linking up and cross training, and just reaching out and making all the other aspects of my game better. With my jiu-jitsu, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for the last 12 years now. I've been a black belt going on 8 years now. So I'm not gonna say I've mastered jiu-jitsu, because I don't think we ever mastered jiu-jitsu, because it's infinite, right? But what I'm gonna say is that I have my game. I know what I do and what I do well and what I need to add. So I think a lot of what I'm gonna use to help me continue and keeping my level high is a lot of drilling, keeping my technique sharp and staying up to date on my techniques, where I feel a lot of people sometimes fall off because they don't drill. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like to drill. Like I said, I have nothing against that. If that's what you like, that's what you think, perfect. But yeah, so I'm gonna be doing to keep my level high, and I will keep competing, so you guys will continue to see me in the competition scene. Like I said, I still have a couple medals to turn into gold, so be on the lookout. Be on the lookout, guys. Okay, let's see what else I got here. Let's see. Okay, Craw 98. What has been your favorite country so far that you have been to? That's a good question. I've traveled. I've had the opportunities and the blessings to travel all around the world doing jiu-jitsu. But what I'm gonna say is that my favorite country that I've been to, I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be Japan. I mean, Japan. I've been to Tokyo, and I mean, it's just, to me, the reason why I say Tokyo is because it's so different from everything else that I've seen, and it's just so unique to me, and it's just something that I've never seen before, until I went there. Just the culture in the country, the people itself, the food, the way the country just works and functions. It's just something I've never seen before. So I found it beautiful and amazing, and the people were so amazing and friendly and just willing to help you. And training out in Japan and competing in Japan was an experience I've never seen before. It was beautiful, it really was. You can see they have a whole different level of appreciation from all martial arts. So it was awesome. One of my favorite countries I've ever been to, Japan, more specifically Tokyo. So if you guys ever get a chance to go. Oh yay, it's Trey. When you experiment and start adding to your game, do you focus more on weakness, stuff that you think is cool, techniques that complement strong areas of your game, or what? Honestly, all three. It really depends on what time of the year it is. So right now, it's kind of, down season, or the world's just happened about 2-3 months ago. So right now I'm really focusing on things that I don't do too well right now, and things that I want to add to my game, things that I think are cool. So right now, this is the time of the year where I'm working and adding those types of techniques into my game. Things that I don't feel comfortable with, that I'm weak on, that I need to improve, and things that I think are just cool that I probably saw on YouTube or saw someone doing it at a tournament. So this is the time of year. Now when it comes in the competition season, I'm usually working on the techniques that complement my strong game already, my strong suit. So like I said, it depends on the time of the year. All right, let's see. Okay, my boy out in Australia, Tyler Cully. Favorite part of Australia trip was probably just meeting everyone, honestly. I've never been to Australia before this last time, and it was an amazing trip. I had a lot of fun, but more importantly, I met a lot of new friends and a lot of cool people. That's one thing I always take pride in. Whenever I travel to a new country, I don't just go there just to compete or do a seminar. I usually do, but I want to do more than just that. I always try to train with everybody and get to know everybody. I think that's really important, and because of that, I've made so many new friends all around the world, where I know if I need to go to a country one day and need a place to stay or need some help to get around the country, I can just ask somebody and they'll be willing to help me, because I'll do the same for them when they come over to wherever I am at. So that was probably my favorite part of the trip, was hanging out with you, Tyler, and just getting to know everybody. Honestly, it was an amazing trip. And that's all for the questions, guys. So hopefully I answered them pretty well for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy that Q&A. If you guys want to do that again, let me know in the comments below if you guys are interested in doing that on a regular basis. Maybe I can answer questions about technique, lifestyle, training, anything like that. If that's something you guys are looking forward to do, let me know in the comments below and we'll add it into the vlog. And enjoy this next episode, guys. Peace.